Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into a topic that's not just fascinating, but also incredibly relevant to our lives, love, and attachment. Do you ever wonder if your relationship is destined? Or why certain types of people are drawn to each other? Like, why do anxious individuals often find themselves in relationships with avoidant partners? It's all tied to something called attachment theory. So, buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride through the psychology of love.
Oh, wow. That sounds super interesting. So, attachment theory? Is that like how we connect with people based on our childhood experiences? I mean, I've heard of it, but I'm not really sure how it works. Can you explain that a bit more?
Absolutely. Attachment theory explains how our early relationships, especially with our primary caregivers, shape our future connections. Think about when a baby is born, they rely on their caregiver, usually the mother, for survival. The way that caregiver responds to the baby creates an attachment relationship. It's like the foundation of a house. If it's shaky, the whole structure can be unstable.
Oh, that's a cool analogy. So, what happens if the caregiver isn't very responsive? Like, does that mean the baby grows up to have issues with relationships later on?
Exactly. Different parent-child relationships lead to different attachment styles. There was this famous experiment by psychologists Ainsworth and Witt back in 1969 called the strange situation. They observed how children reacted when their mothers left and returned. They identified 4 attachment types: secure, avoidant, ambivalent, and disorganized. It's like a personality test for babies.
Wait. So, like, what do these attachment types mean? I'm super curious. Are there, examples of how they play out in adult relationships?
Great question. Securely attached children might feel anxious when separated, but generally trust that their caregiver will return. As adults, they tend to have healthier relationships. Avoidant children, on the other hand, show indifference when their caregiver leaves and may not express joy upon their return. As adults, they often struggle with intimacy. It's like they build walls around their hearts.
Oh, wow, that's kind of sad. So, what about ambivalent children? I mean, do they have a harder time in relationships too?
Yes. Ambivalent children experience intense anxiety when separated and may react with anger or clinginess when reunited. As adults, they can be quite needy or overly dependent on their partners. It's a cycle of emotional turmoil. Those with avoidant attachment often attract anxious partners, creating this push-pull dynamic that can be exhausting.
That sounds like a roller coaster. So, how do people break out of these patterns? Like, can they change their attachment style?
Absolutely. Understanding these dynamics is crucial. If unresolved childhood traumas persist, they can dictate patterns in adult relationships. But here's the good news: self-awareness and personal growth are essential for breaking these cycles. It's like learning to ride a bike. At first, you might wobble, but with practice, you can find your balance.
Oh, I love that. So, it's all about embracing change, right? Like accepting what you can't change and working on what you can?
Exactly. How you view yourself influences your relationships with others. Embracing change and accepting what cannot be changed is vital for personal development and healthier relationships. It's a journey, but one that's worth taking.
Wow, this is so enlightening. I mean, it's like, I can see how understanding this could really help people in their love lives. Like, if you know your attachment style, you can work on it, right?
Exactly. Knowledge is power. By understanding your attachment style, you can make conscious choices in your relationships, leading to healthier connections. It's all about breaking those old patterns and creating something new.
This is so cool. I can't wait to share this with my friends. I mean, do you think there are any other factors that influence who we fall in love with?
Oh, definitely. There are so many layers to love and attraction. But that's a conversation for another day. For now, let's focus on how attachment shapes our relationships. It's a deep well of insight that can really transform how we connect with others.